All right, this Has Been Depot is in Atkinson, Illinois, which is basically northwestern Illinois. Definitely decommissioned. See, it has a new roof put on it, but needs some TLC otherwise. Right now we're looking at the south side of this. All boarded up, but these are clearly for loading and unloading from trucks or maybe horse-drawn carriages. Don't know how old this is. I haven't been able to find any kind of a cornerstone or plaque or historical marker, but walking around to the east side here. Looks like this is probably about 40 feet back from the railroad tracks. So I don't know if it was built that way or moved. Sometimes these are closer to railroad tracks than that. North side, pretty much like the south side. Three sliding doors here. Also at loading and unloading height. Just notice it looks like the roof took some dings. And here we are at the west side. Coming back around to the south side. And we can see the Atkinson, Illinois water tower in the background here. Yeah, this is it. The only sign on here says no parking. Sure, it served this town well back in the day, but yeah, this is pretty much an example of what happens when trucks replace trains for serving rural communities. So anyway, again, this is Atkinson, Illinois. So this depot is in Geneseo, Illinois, which is northwestern Illinois, near I-80. It's along the Iowa Interstate Railroad, a single-track line. Obviously no longer used for anything railroad-related. There's a, looks like an insurance agency in it, and a monument maker, but interesting building. It's all wood. Appears to be mostly original, although obviously the businesses that occupy it probably would have done some remodeling. And looks like the building was added on to here. This bit way over here at this would be the east end of the building. We are now looking at the south side. Tracks are along the north side. Haven't found any plaques yet, or a cornerstone about the history of the building, but see what we find when we do the walk around. I'm just walking over what looks like an old railroad siding. Probably dates back to when this would have been used for railroads. Almost completely overgrown. Can't even tell where it goes. But anyway, back to our building. Looks like it needs a little bit of paint work on the eaves. Older buildings like this are not the easiest to maintain. I got a few brick pavers here and there. Here's the railroad. We are now on the north side of the building. About the best view I can get of the north side. There's stuff behind me that prevents me from walking further back. And west end of the building. Across the tracks again. And almost back where we started. This is in Geneseo, Illinois. All right, I am in Wilton, Iowa, which is eastern Iowa, just outside the Quad Cities area. And this here is the Wilton Depot, which I'm seeing for the first time. Found out about this from a friend of mine who rode Amtrak back to Des Moines from Chicago on these tracks a few days ago, and got a good picture of this depot and this caboose featured in another video outside his window in the coach he was riding in. So, start with what this says about this. The Mississippi and Missouri Railroad built track from Davenport to Wilton in 1855. From Wilton, they went west to Iowa City and south to Muscatine. This track was sold to become part of the Rock Island Railroad. In 1898, the depot was replaced with a modern brick structure with more room for passengers and freight. The roof was replaced in the 1940s, but as passenger service was reduced, less work was done on the Rock Island Railroad. In 1987, the depot became more of an eyesore. The Wilton City Council told the railroad to repair the depot or tear it down. The railroad told the city that they would sell it to the city for $1. Okay, sounds like a bargain. A group of interested individuals formed the Wilton Historical Society to preserve the depot and the history of Wilton and purchased the depot from the city and worked on restoring the depot by 1990. So, here we are. We'll do a walk around. And I like how they have old crossing gate and signal equipment preserved here. Looks like this is in pretty good shape. So here's what looks like cornerstones, except of course they're not in a corner. 1926, 1895. This is a section of trackage on which this old Rock Island caboose is preserved. Again, that'll be in another video. And here's the other end of it. This would be the eastern end of this depot. And these right here are the live tracks on which Amtrak operates. Well, they've got an old semaphore preserved here. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Can see through the glass very clearly. Across the tracks so we can get a better view here. And they do periodically open this to the public, it looks like. See, they've got what looks like Christmas lights hanging from the eaves of the roof here. Would be nice to see that all lit up around the holidays. But it's late June as I shoot this. So definitely won't get to see that lit up anytime soon. And back where we started, the Wilton Depot in Wilton, Iowa.